Ever feel like you're stuck trading peace of mind just to get a paycheck?
Yeah.
Like, we're told success means you got to grind yourself down and just accept stress to get a good income. Well, get ready to ditch that, because today we're diving into chill wealth.
Okay.
The idea that you can earn a great living without having to sacrifice your well-being.
Right.
We're going deep on an ebook with 10 surprisingly chill but seriously rich jobs.
Interesting.
Careers you might not expect that really challenge this idea of work-life balance.
I like it.
To really get you curious, imagine getting paid to sleep as part of your job.
What?
It's number 3 on our list.
Wow.
And it's just one example of how chill wealth can really flip how we think about careers.
That's so cool. What's fascinating to me is that it makes us look at how we define success and fulfillment.
Right.
We're so used to thinking that a big paycheck means tons of stress.
Yeah.
But these 10 jobs show us a different reality.
Okay.
One where you can have financial reward and a really relaxed work life together.
Okay, let's break this down, starting with number 10.
Okay.
A job that might seem kind of obvious at first.
All right.
But when you look closer, it shows us some cool insights into chill wealth. Dog walking in Los Angeles.
Okay. Now, before you think this is just some side hustle, think about where it is.
Right.
Los Angeles has this unique mix of being rich, loving dogs, and everyone's super busy.
Yeah.
This means there's a big need for dog walkers who are more than just someone who holds a leash.
You're right. It's not just about walking the dog a couple blocks.
Right.
These dog walkers are trusting to take care of these beloved pets.
Yeah.
Giving them company, exercise, even stuff like giving them medicine or some basic training.
Yeah, exactly.
And that means they can earn more than you might think.
Right. The ebook says the average rate is $18, $20 an hour.
Wow.
But the interesting part is why that number is what it is. It's not just because things cost a lot of LA.
Yeah.
It's that people there are willing to pay for really good care for their pets and for the peace of mind that comes with it.
Makes sense.
So these dog walkers are tapping into this specific part of the market that lets them make a decent living while being outside, working on their own and hanging out with dogs.
So it's not just about the job itself. It's about knowing how the market works, finding the right niche, and using those insights to make a chill wealth opportunity.
Exactly. And that same idea applies to our number 9 pick, which might surprise some people.
Okay.
Pizza delivery driver in a high-end area.
Pizza delivery. Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm interested, but how does this fit into shockingly chill, seriously rich?
Again, it's about the location and having a strategy.
Okay.
Imagine delivering pizzas not in some crazy busy city center, but in a nice, well-planned suburb with big houses and wide streets.
Okay.
Less traffic, easier to get around, and a better chance of getting good tips.
So it's almost like a calculated risk-reward thing?
Yeah.
Trading the craziness of city driving for calmer, more profitable routes in richer neighborhoods.
Exactly. And the ebook talks about how much you can earn, saying one driver makes over $120 a day just from tips.
Wow.
Now, of course, it's not a guaranteed income, and there are downsides like gas costs and sometimes dealing with a tough customer.
Yeah, for sure.
But for someone who likes to drive being independent and understands the tipping culture where they're working, it can be a surprisingly good way to make money without a lot of stress.
It's really cool how these seemingly normal jobs can become chill wealth opportunities when you're strategic about it.
Right.
You got to understand the market and use those insights to your advantage.
Exactly. It's about seeing what others don't and recognizing the potential.
Yeah.
And that brings us to number 8, a job that's perfect for working from home, medical transcriptionist.
Now, this one I'm really interested in.
Okay.
I've always wondered about medical transcription.
Yeah.
What do they actually do and what makes it so chill?
Medical transcriptionists are the important link between spoken medical records and written documents.
Okay.
They listen to recordings from doctors and other healthcare providers, type them out word for word.
Got it.
And then format those reports super accurately, make sure everything stays confidential.
So they're like the unsung heroes, making sure all that crucial information is written down correctly.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to pay attention to details,
right,
but not necessarily super high pressure, especially because you can work from home.
That's a great point. The ebook really highlights how flexible and independent this job is.
Okay.
Imagine just rolling out of bed, grabbing your coffee, and starting work in your pajamas.
Nice.
No commute, no office drama, just your headphones and the world of medical terms.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
What about the earning potential?
Yeah.
Can you actually make a good living doing this?
For sure. The average hourly rate is between $18 and $25.
Wow.
And if you get more experience, you can specialize in certain medical areas,
Okay.
which often pays even more.
That's awesome.
So you could be making a comfortable living working from home and helping out in healthcare.
Right.
It's like the trifecta of chill wealth benefits.
It's amazing how technology has created these opportunities for skilled people to work remotely and earn good money without giving up their freedom.
I know. It's really cool.
But like any job, there must be some downsides, right?
Of course, working from home means you need to be good at managing your time and staying focused.
Yeah.
It's easy to get distracted or lose track of time when you're not in an office.
Right.
And some people might feel isolated working alone.
I can see that.
So it's important to stay connected and keep a good balance between work and life.
Those are all good points. It's not just about finding a chill job.
Right.
It's about having a chill lifestyle that's good for you overall.
Exactly. And speaking of lifestyle, our next pick is all about structure stability and those perks you get working at a university program coordinator in university desk operations.
Now, this one really intrigues me.
Okay.
Universities always seem so peaceful and intellectually stimulating.
Yeah.
What exactly does a program coordinator do in this kind of setting?
Think of them as the organizers who make sure everything runs smoothly.
Okay.
They give students information, manage records, coordinate programs, and connect different departments.
Interesting.
It's all about making sure things at the university are efficient, organized, and focused on the students.
So they're like the glue that holds everything together, making sure everything's working like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. And because universities are usually structured with set procedures and a clear chain of command, the work is often predictable and routine,
Okay.
which for many people means less stress and more control over their work.
I could see how that would be appealing.
Right.
No crazy deadlines, no constant emergencies.
Yeah.
Just a steady flow of tasks and knowing exactly what your role is in the bigger picture.
That's it.
And what about the earning potential?
Yeah.
Is seriously rich realistic for this role?
While it might not be as high as some of the other jobs we'll talk about,
Okay.
program coordinators at universities typically earn a good middle-class income,
Got it.
$40,000 to $65,000 a year, depending on how much experience you have and where you are.
Okay.
But the wealth part goes beyond just the paycheck.
You're talking about those extra benefits, right?
Exactly.
Being in a place where people are learning and thinking,
Yeah.
feeling good about helping with education, maybe even getting more training for your job.
Right.
And of course, those awesome benefits packages that often come with university jobs.
It's all about looking at wealth in a bigger way.
Yeah.
Thinking about not just the money, but also your quality of life, the place where you work, and how fulfilling your career is.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to work.
Really?
It's not just about chasing the highest salary.
Right.
It's about finding something that fits with your values, your lifestyle, and what you think a good life is.
And speaking of finding the right fit, our number 6 pick takes us to an area that seems technical and tough, but actually has a surprisingly laid-back work style.
Okay, let's hear it.
Quality control for electrical and mechanical projects.
Okay, now this one has me curious.
Yeah,
Quality control doesn't exactly scream chill wealth at first.
right.
So what makes this job so surprisingly relaxed?
Quality control inspectors in these fields are the ones who make sure things are done right and safe.
Okay.
They make sure electrical and mechanical systems are installed and working correctly, meeting all the codes and standards.
Interesting.
They inspect things, look over blueprints, do tests, and write up their findings, basically making sure everything's up to par.
So they're like the detail-oriented detections of construction, making sure nothing gets missed and everything is built to last.
Exactly. And what makes this job chill is how structured and clear the work is.
Okay.
They're not constantly putting out fires or dealing with surprises.
Yeah.
Their tasks are usually based on set checklists and procedures.
Right.
And as they get more experience, they develop a sharp eye for spotting potential problems
Makes sense.
and making sure everything meets the highest standards.
So it's almost like solving a puzzle, using your knowledge and experience to make sure everything fits perfectly.
I like that analogy.
And what about the earning potential?
Yes.
Does it fall into the seriously rich category?
While it might not be Wall Street money,
Okay.
quality control inspectors in these fields make a solid middle-class living, usually between $45,000 and $75,000 a year, depending on experience and certifications.
Okay.
And what's interesting is you don't necessarily need a 4-year college degree to get into this.
Really?
Lots of quality control inspectors come from trade backgrounds or get experience through apprenticeships,
Interesting.
which highlights another cool part of chill wealth, being able to earn good money without getting buried in student loans.
That's a huge thing to consider.
Right.
It's about finding ways to be successful that don't always need a traditional college education,
Yeah.
but instead use practical skills and on-the-job learning.
Absolutely. It's about realizing there are many ways to have a good career that's also fulfilling. And now we're getting into the top 5 of our countdown where the chill wealth factor really starts to crank up.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay.
Bring on number 5.
All right. Number 5 on our list takes us to the creative world, where being strategic and knowing how to delegate can lead to a high income and a surprisingly calm work life. It's the senior producer wearing many hats manageable.
Senior producer, that sounds like a super high-pressure job. How is that chill?
It's all about perspective and being able to handle lots of different things. Well, senior producers are the experienced leaders who guide creative projects from start to finish.
Okay.
They oversee budgets, timelines, teams, client relationships. They wear many hats to make sure everything runs without a hitch.
So they're like the masterminds, making the creative magic happen while keeping everyone on track and within budget.
You got it. And while it sounds overwhelming, the ebook says experience is key to being a chill senior producer.
Okay.
Seasoned pros have learned how to delegate, effectively focus on the big picture, and trust their teams to get things done.
Makes sense. It's about working smarter, not harder, and using your experience to make a less stressful and more efficient work environment.
Exactly. And the rewards for reaching that level of expertise are big.
Okay.
The average salary for senior producers in different creative industries can be anywhere from $120,000 to $200,000 or more, with top earners making even more than that.
Wow, that's seriously impressive. So you're saying I could be leading creative projects, earning a top-tier income, and still having a pretty chill work life.
That's the power of chill wealth. It's about finding a career that you're passionate about and that lets you succeed both personally and professionally. But of course, there are things to consider.
Right, like it takes years of experience to get to that level of skill and calmness. And even with a great team, ultimately the senior producer is responsible if the project doesn't succeed.
Very true. And creative industry can be demanding with long hours and tight deadlines. But for those who love their work, thrive on creative challenges, and have really honed their leadership skills, it can be a super rewarding and fulfilling career.
It's inspiring to know that even in tough fields, there are ways to achieve chill wealth. It's all about finding the right fit and learning how to manage stress.
Absolutely. And talking about unexpected paths to chill wealth, let's move on to number 4, a job that might surprise you: export compliance executive at a medical device company.
Export compliance. That sounds kind of bureaucratic. How does that fit into the shockingly chill, seriously rich category?
That's the cool thing about this deep dive. It's all about questioning what we think we know. Export compliance executives are the ones who make sure things are legal in the global marketplace.
Okay.
They ensure that medical devices are shipped and sold internationally, following all the laws and rules.
So they make sure everything's above board and by the book. It sounds important, but not exactly what I picture as a chill job.
But that's the surprise. While the regulations can be complicated, the daily tasks of an export compliance executive often become pretty routine and predictable once the systems are in place.
So it's more about being meticulous and detail-oriented rather than constantly dealing with emergencies.
Exactly. And because companies really value their expertise in navigating these complex regulations and avoiding potential problems, export compliance executives often have a lot of autonomy and respect.
That makes sense. Nobody wants to be breaking international trade laws, so less micromanaging and more trust in their expertise.
Precisely. And the financial rewards for this kind of specialized knowledge are significant.
Okay.
Export compliance executives, especially in medical devices, can earn between $120,000 and $200,000 a year, or even more, depending on experience and company size.
Wow, that's seriously rich territory. So you're saying I could be earning a top-tier income, working in a relatively calm and predictable environment, and playing a key role in ensuring global compliance.
That's the essence of chill wealth. It's about finding a career where your expertise is highly valued, your work is meaningful, and your day-to-day life is relatively stress-free. But of course, there are things to think about.
Right, like it might not be the most exciting or dynamic field for everyone. I can imagine some people might find the routine and focus on regulations a bit boring.
You're right. It's definitely not a job for people who crave constant change and excitement. But for those who enjoy working with rules and regulations, have a strong eye for detail, and appreciate a predictable workday, it can be a surprisingly chill and incredibly rewarding career path.
This is mind-blowing. We've already looked at 4 totally different jobs that all offer a unique mix of chill and wealth. I can't wait to see what the top 3 are.
Get ready, because the shockingly chill, seriously rich factor gets even differ as we move into the final 3. And trust me, the next job is one you won't want to miss.
Okay, you've definitely got me curious. Bring on number 3.
Number 3 on our list takes us back to caregiving, but with a twist that unlocks exceptional downtime and a surprising income direct support professional, Midnights.
Okay, I'm all ears. We talked about dog walkers and pizza delivery drivers, but caregiving always seemed like the opposite of a chill job. What makes this role so different?
It's all about the midnight shift and how overnight care works. Direct support professionals on the midnight shift watch over and support people with intellectual or developmental disabilities in places where they live.
So they're basically making sure the residents are safe and well while they're sleeping.
Exactly. And while they have to be alert and ready to help if needed, the truth is a lot of the midnight shift can be downtime.
Wait, are you saying what I think you're saying? Paid to sleep?
You got it. The ebook quotes a midnight DSP who says, "I work overnight, so 11 p.m., 9 a.m. I get paid to sleep." While it's not literally sleeping the whole time, there's not a lot to do when residents are sleeping peacefully.
This is blowing my mind. So you're essentially getting paid to be there and be available, maybe even to read, study, or catch some G's.
That's the surprising reality of this chill wealth job. And you can earn a surprisingly good amount, especially for a job that often only needs a GED. The example in the ebook mentions $16 an hour, which is about average for DSPs nationwide.
So you're telling me I could potentially make a decent living, have lots of paid downtime, and make a difference in people's lives, all without needing a fancy degree?
That's what happens when you challenge how you think about careers, but like always, there are important things to consider.
Right, working the night shift isn't for everyone. It can mess with your sleep and social life.
You're absolutely right. And it's important to know that not all midnight DSP jobs are the same. How chill it is depends on the specific place and what the residents need. Working with people who need more care or who act unpredictably at night might mean less downtime and a more demanding job.
So it's important to ask the right questions when applying to make sure it's a good fit. But for people who are night owls or can adjust to a night shift lifestyle, this sounds like an amazing way to find chill wealth.
Absolutely. And it just goes to show that sometimes the paths we least expect can lead to a rewarding and fulfilling career that also happens to be shockingly chill and seriously rich.
I'm seeing a pattern here. The key to chill wealth is often about looking beyond the usual career paths and exploring industries or roles that most people don't even know about.
Exactly. It's about challenging what you think you know and being open to possibilities that might not fit the traditional idea of success.
Okay, I'm officially sold on this chill wealth concept. What other surprises do you have for us as we get to the top 2?
Get ready because number 2 on our list takes us to the energy world, where doing independent research and understanding legal details can lead to a really high income and a surprisingly laid-back lifestyle. Landman, oil and gas.
Landman. That's not a job title you hear every day. What exactly does a landman do, and how is it shockingly chill, seriously rich?
Landmen are the people working behind the scenes who secure the rights to access land for oil and gas exploration and development.
Okay.
They're basically the detectives of land ownership, doing deep research, negotiating lease agreements with landowners, and navigating the complicated legalities of the energy industry.
So they're like the legal puzzle solvers who make sure energy companies can legally drill and get resources.
That's a great way to put it. And while it might sound super complicated and high pressure, the reality is that landmen often have a surprising amount of independence and can set their own schedule.
Really? I'd imagine there are tight deadlines and a lot of pressure to secure those valuable land rights.
While deadlines exist, landmen often have flexible schedules and can work remotely, especially when they're doing a lot of research. They're essentially managing their own workload, setting their own pace, and figuring out the legal puzzle of land ownership independently.
That sounds really appealing. It's like being a legal detective, but with the freedom and flexibility to work how you want. And what about the seriously rich part? What kind of income are we talking about?
Landmen are paid very well for their expertise and the key role they play in the energy industry. The average salary for a landman in the U.S. is between $100,000 and $200,000 or more, with experienced professionals and those working in busy energy markets making even more.
Wow, that's seriously impressive. So you're saying I could be earning 6 figures working independently and digging into fascinating old records and legal documents. Where do I sign up?
Not so fast. While the chill wealth potential is definitely there, it's important to remember that the oil and gas industry goes up and down. Landman income can change with energy prices and how much drilling is happening.
That's a good point. It's not a job for people who need absolute stability, but for those who are adaptable, enjoy intellectual challenges, and are comfortable with some risk, it could be an amazing opportunity.
Exactly. And it shows a key part of chill wealth. It often involves balancing different kinds of risk and reward. Some jobs offer predictable stability, while others offer the chance to earn a lot, but with more ups and downs.
It's about finding what works best for you and your risk tolerance.
Exactly. And now, for what we've all been waiting for, the number 1 shockingly chill, seriously rich job.
I can't wait to hear it. After all these surprising careers, I can only imagine what's at the top.
Get ready to be amazed because number one takes us into the world of nuclear power where tough training and a focus on safety lead to something unexpected. A huge income and surprisingly routine, low-stress work, everyday nuclear plant operator.
Nuclear plant operated. That's not exactly what comes to mind when I think of chill wealth. Actually, it sounds kind of scary. What makes this job so surprisingly relaxed, and how does it pay so well?
That's the cool thing about this idea. It challenges what we think chill and wealth really mean. Nuclear plant operators are the highly skilled people who control and monitor all the complicated systems in a nuclear power plant, making sure electricity is generated safely and reliably.
So they're basically the ones keeping nuclear power safe with a huge responsibility.
Exactly. But to understand why it's chill, you have to look at the careful routine, the strict procedures, and the culture of safety that's part of everything in a nuclear plant.
Are you saying that being chill actually comes from being super structured and predictable?
Exactly. Nuclear power plants have incredibly detailed procedures and checklists for every single task, from starting and stopping plant to dealing with anything unusual. This gets rid of any guesswork and confusion, which often leads to stress in other high-pressure jobs.
So instead of always putting out fires, they're following a carefully planned playbook to make sure everything runs smoothly and safely.
Exactly. And the training that nuclear plant operators go through is super tough and demanding, getting them ready for almost anything you can imagine. This level of preparation makes them confident and less anxious because they know they can handle whatever happens.
That makes sense. It's like the intense training for a fighter pilot or an astronaut. Once you've mastered everything and proven you can do it, the daily work becomes less about reacting to emergencies and more about keeping things stable and under control.
That's a great comparison. And because safety is the absolute top priority in nuclear power, the whole work culture is about staying calm, acting deliberately, and paying close attention to every detail. There's no rushing or cutting corners.
So the chill factor comes from having a huge responsibility but managing it carefully through tough training, strict rules, and a culture that's all about safety.
And now, it's interesting, a job with huge responsibility but surprisingly low stress every day, all because of the systems they have to minimize risk and keep things safe.
And what about the seriously rich part? How does the pay for a nuclear plant operator compare to the other jobs we talked about?
Nuclear plant operators are some of the highest paid professionals in the skilled trades, making an average of $100,000 to $150,000 a year or more. Operators with experience, and those in leadership roles can earn over $250,000 a year, and that's not even counting the amazing benefits that usually come with these jobs.
Wow, that's incredible. So you're saying I could potentially be in the top 1% of earners, have great job security, and work in a structured, predictable place that's all about safety and calmness.
It almost sounds too good to be true, right? But that's the surprising thing about chill wealth. It's often found where we least expect it.
This has been eye-opening. We've explored so many different things, from dog walking to pizza delivery to nuclear power, and each one has changed how I think about what it means to have a satisfying and well-paying career.
That's what these deep dives are all about. It's about opening our minds, challenging what we think we know, and realizing there are lots of ways to have a good life, both at work and outside of work.
This has been an amazing journey, but before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your final thoughts on what it all means and what our listeners can take away from exploring these shockingly chill, seriously rich jobs.
You know what this deep dive has really been about is getting rid of that limiting belief that a good income means giving up our peace of mind. It's about taking back the idea that we can have both financial security and a life we love.
So what's the most important thing for our listeners to remember? What can they actually do with this information?
Start by really thinking about what success means to you. Is it just about how much money you make, or is it about having time for things you love, a low-stress job, a sense of purpose?
It sounds like it's about finding that balance where financial stability and personal fulfillment come together.
Exactly. And the great thing is that chill wealth can be found in the most unexpected places. It might be in a field you've never even considered, or a job that doesn't fit the typical idea of success.
So be open to those less traditional paths. Challenge those ideas about what a good career should be.
Absolutely. Don't get stuck thinking you have to work yourself to the bone to be financially secure. You can build a career you love without sacrificing your well-being.
This whole episode has been such an eye-opener. I'm feeling so much more empowered to decide what success means for me.
That's awesome to hear. Because your journey to chill wealth starts now. Take some time to think about your priorities, what you're passionate about, and what a rich life means to you.
For those who are feeling stuck or unsure where to even start, what advice would you give them?
Don't be afraid to be curious. Explore different industries, look into niche fields, read articles and ebooks like the one we talked about today. Talk to people who are already living the chill wealth lifestyle.
Hearing from those people can be so inspiring. It's like a roadmap for creating that kind of life.
Exactly. And remember, there are many ways to find success. Don't limit yourself to the usual job search. Look into freelance work, remote jobs, or even starting your own business.
Being your own boss definitely fits with wanting more control and flexibility, which is a big part of chill wealth.
It's all about finding what works best for your strengths, your values, and what you want your life to be like. It's not about the job title or the paycheck. It's about creating a lifestyle that lets you succeed in every way.
So as we wrap up, what's the one piece of advice you'd give our listeners as they start their own chill wealth journeys?
Don't be afraid to question how things are usually done. Decide what success means to you, explore those less traditional paths, and always remember that it is possible to have a life where financial security and personal happiness go together.
This has been an incredible deep dive. I'm leaving with a whole new way of thinking about work wealth and what's possible when we dare to challenge conventional wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and expertise with us today.
It's been great, and to all of our amazing listeners, thanks for joining us. Remember to subscribe for more eye-opening deep dives. Share this episode with anyone who needs a little career inspiration, and let us know which chill wealth jobs caught your attention. Until next time, keep exploring, keep challenging, and keep looking for those shockingly chill, seriously rich opportunities that are out there waiting for you.